Brad, we received an email from Morgan, who's buying his first home and is wondering what questions should he ask a home inspector after inspecting the home that he is buying. Good question.
So I would argue that he needs to be asking some questions before, like get a copy of the sample report, make sure he knows what he's going to get.
I get that. I see what you're saying, but I think he's wondering, is there anything he needs to ask the inspector to know about the house, things like that?
So here, what I would say is anything that the home inspector is talking to him about when they're there at the inspection, doing a walkthrough, I would make sure that you ask the inspector, is this going into your report? Okay, is that going into your report? Because that's the one thing. After the report's written, I think every buyer needs to read the entire report, all of the report, every page of the report, because the inspection report itself is not just a 1 or 2 page summary at the beginning or at the end. It's those 30, 40, 50, 110 pages, whatever the home inspector's writing up. But it really, the buyer needs to feel very open and free to ask the inspector about anything they don't understand, because they may be talking technical language that is not known to the buyer. There's no embarrassment, there's no shame in asking the inspector what they mean by something. Call the inspector, talk to them. We get those calls in our office all the time. People don't understand, what we mean by sub panels and why they're wired a little bit differently. And it's like, well, what is a sub panel? So, we explain those. But yeah, anything, they should never be left with a question that they don't understand a part of the report. So really read the entire report, and anything you don't understand, pick up the phone, call your inspector and say, hey, what do you mean by? And the other thing is, agents, are all different experience levels. Some are very experienced and can explain what the report means. Many can't. And so I think for agents too, if you don't understand what it is the home inspector is writing there, just ask. Please ask them so they've got a complete understanding. Because the worst thing can happen is 90 days after the inspection's done, they move into the house and they say, hey, this is happening. I didn't know anything about it. The inspector goes, yeah, that's what we talked about, in the report. It's like, oh, I didn't know that's what you actually meant. I didn't know I had to maintain that. I didn't know I needed to, call someone out to look at that. So those are probably the big things that, after the inspection is done, you want to ask about.